Odisha is one of the most underrated states in India. Despite being close to the BJP, the mainstream media has not given much attention to Odisha. Whenever there is a big news of Odisha, it is of some cyclone or heat wave or some poverty-struck regions. The tagline of Odisha tourism says, India's best kept secret. Hope the national media didn't take this seriously and let the state be a secret. However, in this video, we are going to analyze how Odisha is secretly transforming into a growth state. Let's get deep into the rise of Odisha in this analysis. Before we get into the analysis part, let's have an overview of Odisha economy. If you look at the size of the economy, Odisha stands at 14th rank by GDP with a 5.86 trillion market. If you compare these two growth states like Karnataka and Tamil Nadu are more than 20 trillion markets. This is because up until let's say 2008 or 2010, Odisha hasn't grown much. But after the next 10 years, there has been an impressive economic growth. For any state to grow, you need finance flowing into the state. It can be from other states or the most important source, foreign direct investment. For this to happen, the state needs to improve on 5 major areas. Infrastructure, developing SEZs, largely providing facilities for industries to grow. Connectivity, roads, trains, and airport facilities. Education, better schools and colleges and skill training facilities. Healthcare, hospitals, medical colleges, etc. To make these 4 areas work, you need a solid governance. That is where economic policies play a major role. Broadly looking at the perception of Odisha, Odisha was known for one, obviously the poverty, and the other was lack of good education. This actually had affected a lot of other areas. Now, what actions did the Odisha government take to solve this problem? First, let's look at the education and healthcare sectors. Apart from developing schools and colleges, one stress the government has been giving is computer literacy for high schools. But what I like in the education sector is the importance given for higher education. The Odisha government has taken massive steps to improve higher education, which is the key for employment generation. The government started a scheme of 1% interest loans for technical education to avoid pressure on parents. Skill development has been an addition to technical education. More than 9 lakh youths have been trained under this program. Setting up autonomous colleges, libraries, hostels, and overall infrastructure in education department, I think was much needed for students of Odisha. Statistically, if you look at it, Odisha now has 25 universities, 13 national institutes, 27 engineering colleges, 17 medical colleges, 64 technical colleges, and many institutes to strengthen the whole education system in the state. Among these, I personally think establishing new medical colleges has been a game changer because it worked for both sectors, education and healthcare. Talking about healthcare, there have been some steps to uplift the overall sector. One is developing and managing secondary care hospitals at 25 locations with an approximate investment of 1,300 crores. Next is BSKY scheme, which provides free health service to government-insured patients. There have been investments in the pharmaceutical industry, setting up of industrial units for manufacturing of drugs and equipment. But I think one of the major priorities of the government has been in the field of cancer. Setting up cancer treatment facilities in the district headquarters hospitals, which is another big move in healthcare sector. Next important sector I am very much interested in is agriculture and irrigation. The Odisha government has given a high priority to farmers and tribals. In 2013-14, the state even presented a separate budget for agriculture. Before this, the agriculture budget was 2,000 crores, but they increased it to 7,000 crores. And in 2023, they made it to 24,829 crores for agriculture. And to help small farmers, they launched an agricultural loan scheme. Crop loans were given without any interest rate for up to 1 lakh loan. From 1 lakh to 3 lakh loans, just 2% interest rates were charged. On the other hand, under the irrigation sector, one impressive project which I personally like in Odisha initiatives is the lift irrigation project. This is the first underground piped irrigation project of Odisha. Hirakud Reservoir is the main source of water for irrigation around this region. Now, the project is to pump water from Hirakud Reservoir to Bijapur region, which has drought-prone areas. If you look at the map of Odisha, this entire region, Bijapur, Sohila, Barpali, and Bargar are drought-prone areas. Burger plays a crucial role in the state because this region is also the largest producer of rice for Odisha. Now, pumping water to these areas from the dam sounds simple, but the Bijapur region is around 35 meters above the water level. Basically, they have to pump water more than 100 feet above the normal level. Many had expressed it was difficult to think of succeeding in a project like this. But the Naveen Patnaik government has proved all the critics wrong. Recently, they inaugurated this lift irrigation project. How they have done this project is water will be pumped to the Burger area through the main canal, which is around 206 kilometers. Then in the next 3000 kilometers area, water is distributed through the pipeline network. Each block uses a pumping station with artificial intelligence technology. So, this whole pipeline system helps to irrigate around 60,000 acres of land covering 129 villages. Piped irrigation system is not a new concept in India. In Karnataka, we have been using this for a very long time. And even in Kerala, they have been using it for paddy fields and other crops. But for Odisha, this is the first time project. National Geographic ran a full documentary series on this project and they called it Underground Marvel.
This addition of Bijapur to the irrigation network will improve the agricultural productivity of the district as a whole. In addition to rice being produced, people will also grow vegetable crops and horticulture crops, which will add to the diversification efforts of our Honorable Chief Minister.
Video is on YouTube and full episodes are on Hotstar. If you're interested, I will add the links in the description. Coming back to the analysis, if you look at the last 5 years in Odisha, they have increased the irrigation potential from 61 lakh hectares to 67 lakh hectares with a total investment of 18,745 crores, which also means the government has taken irrigation seriously. The reason I'm stressing on this sector is because if you take care of farmers, you take care of the country. If you try to screw farmers' life, the whole country suffers. That being said, let's move on to the next area, which is the tribals. 37% of the land in Odisha is forest area. That also means that there are a lot of tribals and rural areas. Odisha is the third largest tribal populated state in India. More than 20% of the population are tribals, around 1 crore of them. The Odisha government has taken a lot of steps to empower tribal people. First is the implementation of the Forest Rights Act. They get community rights. The government has distributed 4.56 lakh individual forest rights. They also get community forest resources. How does this community facility help the tribals? The government helps Tendu leaf pluckers, or popularly known as Kendu leaf pluckers, to have employment. One side, they get the market opportunities, and on the other side, they also get insurance coverage. More than 8 lakh Kendu leaf pluckers have got insurance coverage under this scheme. By now, you might be wondering, what is this Kendu leaf? They are the leaves used to roll BDs. Odisha is the third largest producer of Kendu leaves in India after Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh. To help tribals, the government is also converting forest villages into revenue villages so that these people get facilities like electricity, drinking water, roads, etc. They've also gone one step further in providing good education to the tribals by giving hostel facilities. In fact, throughout the country, if you compare, Odisha has the highest number of tribal girls staying in the hostels. While talking about forest and nature, let's look at the sources of revenue for the Odisha government. The highest source of income comes from the natural resources, which is mining and quarrying. If you look at the share of natural resources to the country, Odisha dominates in chromite, which is used by steel and cement industry, bauxite, which is used by the aluminium industry. And also Odisha tops in exporting iron ore and coal for other states. Now, what I keep wondering is, why are these states with rich natural resources are not growing? Look at states like Jharkhand, Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh, plus now Odisha. I don't see these states becoming rich. Why? Anyway, before I give my criticism, let's look at one last segment, which is bringing investments to the state. In 2022, Odisha ran a lot of advertisements to promote Odisha Conclave 2022, one of the biggest investment events. This event gained more than 10 lakh crores of investment opportunities for Odisha, which also means it increases the employment opportunities. To summarize overall, in my study, what I have found, the governance model of Odisha falls under 4 major areas. First is agriculture, because I'm a farmer's son, so I appreciate that a lot. Second is education, third is healthcare, and lastly, tribal empowerment. In their first term, they call the governance model as 3 T's: teamwork, transparency, technology. However, in the second term, they made the strategy to 5 T's, adding transformation and time limit for the projects. Odisha has shown impressive growth in the past 10 years. If you look at the per capita income comparison between the overall country and Odisha state, Odisha has gone more than 10% growth, whereas the country is less than 10%. However, here are a few criticisms from my side. Number one is lack of political leaders. Right now, Navin Patnaik has been a trustworthy leader for the people of Odisha. After him, who has the same leadership popularity? I don't see anybody who can take over the leadership at this stage. Well, Pandian has been in the limelight for some time, but if BJP wants to, they can bring down his popularity by criticizing a lot, saying that he's not local, he's from Tamil Nadu. The second criticism is lack of promotion. I think both the state and the Chief Minister Navin Patnaik need to promote a little more. The Chief Minister doesn't look like he's good with media promotion. On the contrary, look at Uttar Pradesh. That is what promotion is. I mean, Odisha doesn't have to go that aggressive when it comes to promoting. However, I feel they need to step up their promotion game. Lastly, the education sector. I know I appreciated the efforts taken by the government, but they need a lot of improvement in education, especially female education, because their literacy rate is not so great. Odisha has come a long way in terms of growth. Though I am a critic, I felt the Odisha story needs to be shared with people. Let me know what you think about Odisha. If you like the video, share it with your friends, and I will see you in the next video.